So here we are at 31 Savile Row in the offices of Holland and Cherry, and I'm sitting opposite Deirdre Kelly. And where are you from, Deirdre?
I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Fantastic. And can I ask you why you're here?
Yes, I'm here for the UK launch of my new book, Fashioning the Beatles, The Looks That Shook the World, and I can't be more excited. We have a beautiful venue, Holland and Cherry, makers of fine cloth for menswear since the 18th century, and cloth that the Beatles' own tailor Dougie Millings used when crafting quite a number of the nearly 500 looks he created for the Beatles during the height of Beatlemania. So we have on display replicas of the gray sharkskin with velvet collar suits that the Beatles wore in A Hard Day's Night, made of Holland and Cherry cloth by Dougie Millings.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And of course, Gordon's here, Dougie's son, and that gives us that connection back into the early 60s when the Beatles came down pretty much on the back of Jerry and the Pacemakers came down and had their suits made. That's by right. Gordon's father. And
yes.
And then Brian Epstein said, right, my boys have got to have some of that.
Yes, he wanted them to look sharp, and the Beatles were absolutely into it. You know, there's been some misconception that Brian Epstein put them into suits. Nothing could be further than the truth. The Beatles actively wanted to smarten up their look from the black leathers they were wearing in the Cavern Club. They wanted to get out of that cellar and onto the world stage, and the clothes is what made it happen for them.
Absolutely fantastic. I had no idea that there were so many different genres and types of fashion which they were involved in. Obviously, when I take the book home tonight, I will be poring over it. But can you give us a brief description of what we can find in the book?
Yes, it is a first of its kind book to take a deep dive into the clothing the Beatles wore while they were the world's most popular band in the decade they virtually dominated, which is the 1960s. But it is more than a laundry list of their iconic looks. What I show is how what the Beatles wore, first of all, became extremely important in the history of pop culture and in menswear and British fashion in the day. I show how that looks of theirs evolved in step with the music, how they were originals, innovators, always curious, always pushing it forward, and how that authenticity made them so admired and imitated, not only in their own time, but unto the present day, with major designers citing them as an influence on their work.
I think you've hit right on the nail head there when you talk about the curiosity and the way in which they didn't perhaps shrink back from actually pushing out against the envelope, saying, well, this is something that we like, we're going to do. And they were trailblazers in so many ways, not only, of course, with their music, but also, as you've touched upon here, with regards to their fashion as well.
Absolutely, and in a way that might now seem so curious that nobody has looked at that before, because my own research was astonishing me how deeply reflective the clothing was of the band itself. In some ways, I've quipped that this book is a new biography of the Beatles through their clothing. Certainly it provides a fresh look at a band that we thought we knew everything about.
So very, very true. Well, I have to say it's been an absolute joy and a pleasure to speak with you this evening, and can I wish you all the very best with your ongoing issues and launch with this absolutely fabulous book. Thank you, Deirdre Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
indeed.
indeed.
Thank you, Radio Caroline.
Thank you.
You yourself are a trailblazer.
Thank you.